Hello, and a very warm welcome. Driver ratings for the French Grand Prix. All 20 drivers covered as we rate them out of 10 for their weekend. We saw a big title decider as Charles crashed out the lead and Max capitalised. Yeah, we will start with the reserve drivers. Robert Kubica, I will give him 5. Very standard, bang average. Doing quite a lot of testing for Alfa Romeo. Yeah, P19. And Nick De Vries, I would give 8. I thought he did a solid job. And he was only zero point 0.5 off George. So yeah, let's get into it. George Russell, 8. P6 in quali, quite disappointing, but he finished on the podium. Had a massive ding-dong battle with Perez. Went down the inside, bit of contact. And then he caught Sergio napping on the restart. Yeah, double podium for the team. But yeah, he got hammered by Lewis all weekend. Lewis Hamilton, 10. I give him 10. I've gave him some dodgy scores this year, but he missed the whole of practice one. He qualified 4th and he finished 2nd. No errors. Best he can do with the machinery he's got, and he hammers George again. And yeah, he's starting to get on top of George at the minute, which is positive. Gasly, 2. Home race, lot of fans, lot of support. Gets knocked out in Q1 and finishes a disappointing P12. A very poor home race for Gasly. Yuki Tsunoda, 1'1", 8. I give him 8. I thought his qualifying was outstanding. He was the star of qualifying. Qualified P8, one of his best qualifying laps that I can remember. And in the race, he gets taken out. No fault of his own. And he has to retire due to the damage. So I give Yuki Tsunoda 8. I thought he was really good. Did the job in qualifying. Smashes Gasly at his home race. And then he's taken out in the race. He gave Ocon so much room. Yeah. And Ocon only got not really a penalty, did he? Yeah. Disappointing for 1'1". Max, 10. P2 in quali. He wins the race after Charles crashes. And yeah, he's the champion. He will be a 2-time champion and will break most records in Formula 1. I mean, what's the gap now? 63 or 53? It is done. Sergio Perez, 0. Absolutely 0. He was a disgrace this weekend. You call Alex Albon and Gasly out for shit in Red Bull. Well, he was on that level this weekend. Shocking. From the get-go. He qualifies 3rd. Finishes 4th. It's a disgraceful weekend by the Mexican. Behind both Mercedes when it should be an easy 1-2 for the team. He will be getting a bollocking from Marco, and rightfully so. That's not good enough. Not good enough. At all. 0. Vettel, 6. P14, went up to P12, and he finished the race in 11th. Was really close with Lance Stroll at the ends. Bit of an issue in the last corner between them. Yeah, Vettel close to the points, but finishes 11th. Lance Stroll, 8. Started 15th, finished 10th. Lance Stroll gets a lot of criticism, but to score points in an Aston Martin is pretty impressive. People said he brake checked Seb in the last corner. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, strong by Lance. Kevin Magnussen, 5. He had a grid penalty going into the weekend. He looked really fast in quali. Obviously had to start last with a penalty. Contact with Latifi in the race. Had to retire due to the damage. Mick Schumacher, 0. Mick Schumacher's gone back to how he was a couple of races ago. I mean, big mistake in qualifying. He was in the top 10. Gets his lap time deleted. Contact with Joe in the race. Finished last of the runners in P15. Charles Leclerc, I've got to say, 0. 0. I mean, he was, honestly, it was like a 10 out of 10 performance. But you cannot make mistakes like that at this level. You won't win a world championship making mistakes like that. I give him 0 for his mistake. He admitted it was his mistake. leading the race. He's done the perfect weekend up until then. Pole position, held off the max pressure, and then he drops it. It's so disappointing, and you could hear the pain in his voice. That is the title done and dusted, and Charles has to get 0. You can't make mistakes like that at this level. Carlos Sainz 9. Now, again, we knew Carlos had a penalty. He played the team game, giving Charles a tow, and then he had a great fight back in the race. Last up into, P19, up to 5th. Now, he got a 5-second penalty for an unsafe release. And then the team pitted him, threw him back to 9th. He managed to get back to 5th. If they kept him out, he may have been able to get a 5-second gap and could have got a podium, even with a penalty. Yeah, Ferrari doing dodgy strategies again. Valtteri Bottas 5, very average, bang average. P11 quali, P14 in the race. Not much more to add. Guan Yu Zhou 0. Quite a lot of zeros this weekend. He qualifies 16th. 5-second penalty because he took out Mick and then he retired. Alex Albon 6. He had a little spin in qualifying. He qualified 15th, gets promoted to 13th with the penalties. But very average. I wouldn't say it was amazing. Alex Albon hovers around just outside the points. He's doing the best he can in poor machinery. And he smashes Latifi apart week in, week out. Latifi 0. Obviously qualified last. Goes up to 18th. Retired in the race. Contact with Magnussen. Fernando Alonso 9. Brilliant. He's at the top of his game. He's 40 years of age and still driving at a really high level. P7 in qualifying. Once again, he gets an amazing start. Gets the jump on Lando Norris. And that basically makes his race. He finished P6. And he's still as fast as ever. And probably could still win races at this level. Esteban Ocon 5. Now I've got to mark Esteban Ocon down because of home race. He qualified 12, goes up to P10 with the penalties, finished P8 in the race, but he takes out Yuki Tsunoda and ruins Yuki's race. And a 5-second penalty is not really a punishment because, as you see, Ocon's in the points and Yuki had to retire. He takes out Yuki, that's why I mark him down. I would have gave him 7 had he not taken out Yuki. Daniel Ricciardo 7. Qualified 11th, jumps up to P9, and then in the race finished 9th. He got points, still a bit of work to do for Daniel Ricciardo, as he's consistently behind his teammate. Lando Norris 8. He was arguably qualifying star with a mega P5 ahead of one of the Mercedes, and then he finishes P7. Quite a boring race, I would say, for Lando, but again ahead of Ricardo consistently. So let's have the old countdown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there we have it. Driver ratings for the French Grand Prix. Could that be the last time we go to Paul Ricard? I kind of hope so. But yeah, the track's just not up to par, in my opinion. It's a quick turnaround as we go into Budapest next weekend, the Hungaroring. Yeah, Max wins, he's the champion. Ferrari, what Ferrari is going to turn up at Hungary, I have no idea. Yeah, driver ratings, it's always quite fun because it's opinionated. Like, not everyone's going to agree with my ratings. Comment down below. We'll always reply. Adios.